If I go in someone's garden and take a picture of their cat without their permission, it's a bit weird, isn't it?
Yeah, no, that would be unlawful, or rather it would be trespass, because you're going on somebody else's property.
This is somebody else's
But
property.
this, as we've been through,
okay.
you know, this is publicly
Well, we are
accessible.
asking you to leave now.
And I will leave. You want me to leave this minute? I will leave this minute.
Yeah, I would like you to leave this
Okay.
minute. I've enjoyed the conversation.
Okay.
Okay. Can you understand why it makes people like myself feel really uneasy having people taking photographs of their cars?
No, because I think it's paranoia.
We
I
deal
think.
with people who may not be as innocently minded as yourself,
Okay.
and may have a devious undertone in what they want to do if those images become publicly available.
I know.
Okay. I
Well,
understand they can come to
well,
car
give me an
parks and
example then.
Um,
So let's say, for instance, I'll take a picture of this lady's car here who phoned you in and complained about me. Okay, so I've got a shot of her car now.
okay.
And it goes online. Let's say I put it online tonight.
Yeah.
Then what happens?
And then somebody finds out where that car's registered to, or where it's been driving around. It can be put on there for various people we deal with, saying this is a police officer's vehicle. Now I'm stating it's a police officer's vehicle, as you just said.
Okay.
It's then now knowledge it's a police officer's vehicle. That officer is now at risk of repercussions of people who may not be as innocently minded as yourself.
Right.
Do you understand where I'm coming from?
No. I'll tell you why. Because I could come down here and see that with my own eyes.
You could, yeah.
I could put anything online like that. You wouldn't have stopped me if I was just walking across here. If I was stood on the perimeter and I'm looking in, you wouldn't stop me.
Welcome to Operation Audit, where we shine a light on police misconduct and hold public officials accountable. Today's footage comes courtesy of Focus Pocus, one of the UK's standout auditors. Be sure to check out their channel through the link in the description and give them the support they deserve. If you enjoy content, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss future videos. At first, it looked like nothing more than an ordinary encounter with police, the kind of interaction people see every day. But it didn't stay that way for long. Within moments, the atmosphere changed, tensions began to rise, and a routine exchange quickly turned into something far more serious. What happens next is the key moment that changed everything, so pay close attention because this is where the entire situation takes an unexpected turn.
Hi, Anne, thank you.
Can I help you at all?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
What's the scope of the offer?
Scope of the officer. Obviously, you're on the police station private property at the moment, aren't you?
I knew you'd say obviously within the first two sentences.
Yeah, go on. What's going on and what are you here for?
I'm just taking photographs exercising my rights.
Okay, and what rights are you exercising there?
Well, Article 8, Article 10, Article 2.
Okay.
You'd be familiar with all them, wouldn't you?
Okay. You're on private property at the moment. You
Yeah, no,
understand
but
that,
it's...
don't you? Yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter if it's private. It matters whether it's publicly accessible.
Okay.
So it's publicly accessible. And,
Okay. Will you leave the property? I'm asking you a
oh,
question
why would you
now.
want me to leave? It's
I'm
public.
I'm asking you, will you leave the property?
I will
I'm not
leave. I
directing
do.
you to do so.
I
I'm
do have to
asking
go
you,
home
will you?
tonight. Yeah, so I
Yeah,
will
yeah.
leave.
Yeah.
At some point.
Okay. So just say, because you're walking around, you're taking photographs of people's vehicles around here as well, aren't you?
Is that unlawful?
I mean, it makes people feel uncomfortable, doesn't it?
Okay, but is that unlawful?
It's morally a bit wrong, isn't it?
Is it? Because the police never photograph other people's vehicles, do they?
Not for our own benefit. No, it gets stored on police databases.
No,
and used in
I
police
don't
systems,
believe
doesn't it?
that.
Yeah.
I know, but there's
So-
enough
No,
misconduct.
but
There's enough misconduct hearings where police have actually used the police computers for
Don't doubt that for a
non-policing
moment,
purposes
yeah.
only. So,
Yeah.
so that would be incorrect to say that,
Would this
wouldn't
not
it?
be tantamount to that then? If you're saying things for our own private purposes, this isn't for like a police.
No,
purpose,
because
taking photographs of buildings and stuff.
Oh no, it isn't. But I'm a member of the public.
Okay.
You're in my employ, so to speak, aren't you? You're a Crown servant. And when you sign up, when you sign up to these policies.
Okay. What's your purpose here, taking photographs of, let's say,
Well,
people's
remember when I said
personal
it was
vehicles?
Article 8?
People's private vehicles?
No, they're not private. If they're private, they're in the garage and nobody sees it. It's a little bit like an opinion. If you have a private opinion, you don't.
It's a private vehicle as opposed to a
I'm
public
sorry, my friend. I'm not
property
talking to you. Oh, you're taking your hands out of your pockets. Okay, yes.
vehicle.
The footage wastes no time getting into the heart of the confrontation. There is no introduction, no easing into the scene, and no attempt to soften what is unfolding. From the opening moments, the auditor is already involved in an active police interaction, and the tension is impossible to miss. It is clear that something has drawn the officers' attention, and their approach suggests they are taking the situation seriously. The way they position themselves, the questions they ask, and the overall atmosphere all point to a growing dispute over who controls the encounter. Viewers are immediately dropped into the middle of a situation that is already developing, with both sides carefully testing boundaries. From the very beginning, it feels like this encounter is heading toward a much larger confrontation.
Okay, yeah, no, we'll talk to you
No,
now.
it's just the same as if you had your car and you're driving, people would take your photos. You'd be a bit concerned, wouldn't you, that's all?
No, it's different because I pay for that property and it's not publicly accessible, whereas this I help pay for as well as you, and it is publicly accessible.
This part of the car park isn't publicly accessible.
It is.
Are you sure about
Yeah.
that? Okay, I'll take you on your word at that.
Okay, section
Not some
33.
fabrication on it,
Section
but-
33, 1972, Criminal Justice Act, if you want to check it out.
Okay, I'll check that out. I'm taking photographs of people's private vehicles,
Okay.
not public property ones you refer to as the police vehicles, which I get comes out the taxpayer's wallet.
Well, what you've got to think is this, is that the public are allowed to put you under scrutiny, aren't they?
Yeah.
And if I want to photograph your private plate, check out whether the tax and MOT'd, and if I want to see if there's any damage on them, that's okay, that's fine, I can do that.
As the encounter continues, the officers begin pressing for more answers, focusing on why the auditor is present and what his intentions are. Rather than simply accepting the line of questioning, the auditor stands his ground and continues scrutinizing the officer's actions, creating an increasingly noticeable clash of perspectives. This is where the underlying tension starts to take shape. On one side is authority seeking compliance, and on the other is a demand for transparency and accountability. Neither party appears willing to retreat, and what begins as a straightforward exchange gradually shifts into a test of resolve. The discussion becomes less about gathering information and more about who is prepared to defend their position under pressure.
Photographers like me know that you often deploy officers as fast as that, whether we're at ASDA, whether we're at chemical works, whether we're at photographing in the city, at the bank or whatever, a private building, you're there. If they have a problem with themselves at home, somebody breaking in, they often won't see a policeman. So the deployment issue, we're going to have to disagree on that.
Okay. But what you are stating is we would deploy to somebody taking photographs of people's cars in the street. That was the point you made then. Yeah.
What I'm saying is that what I would do is I would say to them, well, are they breaking the law?
Okay. It's not a question
Do you go out for people that aren't breaking the law?
They're concerned, don't they?
Okay, but people are concerned over different things, aren't they?
Okay. Right now, I'm concerned about photographs being taken of police officers' vehicles in the car park.
Well, that's okay. You listen.
My concern on that is what
Unless
you're
you're
going
right
to do
to
with
be
those
concerned.
photos.
Well, that's okay. You can be concerned.
Because you've got to appreciate there are people who may not be as
Nice.
yeah.
Well, that's okay. That's okay.
Right. I'm that's why I should have moved on that. It is a private car park, okay? I
It's
don't
not.
believe.
I'm allowed to be here.
I think you're here for the confrontation, if I'm honest.
I'm
You're
not,
You're not going
because-
to get one out of me. I'm not confrontational. I have
Well-
no gripe with you at all. We're having a conversation, aren't we?
Right.
I'm not being confrontational.
Well, let me
I've got
respond.
my voice, yeah.
Let me respond. I'm not after confrontation because why would anybody come out to a person that's doing a lawful activity? Why would you do that?
So, question again.
If I was walking a dog here, you wouldn't come out. If I was walking around
anyone
looking-
on this property here who's not a police officer, I'm going to come out and speak with them, aren't I? Let's be honest.
Well, I don't mind leaving because I'm almost done.
Almost, but what is your aim here? with
Well,
taking
that's it. You know, when I was mentioned Article 8,
yeah,
which is right
that's
to
your
privacy.
right to do so.
My
but
right
not-
to privacy.
but not why.
Yeah, but the intent and motivation
So right to privacy.
is your right to privacy.
Don't these police officers have a right to privacy?
Not out in public.
Well, you're in public, aren't you?
Yeah.
So you don't have a right to, is that what you're saying?
I'm saying,
You're not trying to educate me
I'm
here.
saying that thoughts and intent and motivation and reasons, anything that's inside and hidden, that's my right to privacy.
Okay.
I'm right to free thought. I'm right to think. Okay, because if it wasn't,
I'm just curious
that
to know
would
what
be
your motivation
totalitarianism,
is.
wasn't
I'm
it?
just curious to know what your motivation
welcome
is,
back, though,
photographing
aren't we?
vehicles.
You can, that's
I'm
fine.
not trying to get it out of you in law.
That's fine. No, that's fine.
It's a conversation, isn't it?
But what I'm saying is that bit is confidential.
Okay. I understand that. So you're not willing to say why you're here taking photos. I'm just curious to know what your motivation is.
I'm
Just-
exercising my rights.
Yeah, exercising your rights to...
To be creative, to receive and impart information, and to be creative with that.
May surprise you, I'm a photographer.
Yeah.
I love photography.
Good.
I've got a Canon 70D, perhaps not as fancy as your one there. You're looking at yours, I'm saying that's probably about 4,500 to 5,000 including the lens, whereas mine's only about 1,200, so it's nowhere near the quality of yours. I do love a photo though. However, I choose my subjects for their aesthetic appeal. So look, I'm giving you an insight into my inner work and my thought process now, so I like to photograph things that appeal to me. I'm the photographer. I don't take photographs for anybody else, I take them for myself. I'm just curious
What
what
do
the
you
appeal
take?
is. Animals, buildings, scenery, landscapes. Predominantly animals though.
Okay.
So So
That's all I've done here. Because we're all animals, aren't we?
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to say there's a difference.
Are we
there, isn't there,
animals?
We are animals.
Are you Homo sapien? Are you a hominid?
If I go in someone's garden and take a picture of their cat without their permission, it's a bit weird, isn't it?
Yeah, no. That would be unlawful. Or rather, it would be trespass because you're going on somebody else's property.
This is somebody else's
But
property.
this, as we've been through,
Okay.
you know, this is publicly
Well, we are
accessible.
asking you to-
As the exchange continues, the atmosphere grows noticeably more intense. The tone on both sides becomes sharper, with the officers appearing increasingly alert and determined, while the auditor continues pushing back by asserting his rights and examining the limits of police authority. At this stage, the encounter is no longer centered on simple questions and answers. It begins to revolve around who gets to define the situation and control the direction of the conversation. That shift creates a sense of unpredictability, leaving viewers with the feeling that the interaction could escalate at any moment. Before long, legal arguments take center stage. The auditor challenges the justification behind the officer's actions, while the police work to explain and defend their authority. What makes this part so compelling is the growing uncertainty over whose position carries greater weight. The pressure builds through careful wording, competing interpretations, and an ongoing battle over accountability rather than any physical confrontation. As the discussion progresses, the officers adopt a more measured but firmer approach, clearly attempting to maintain control and prevent the situation from spiraling further. The auditor, however, remains unwilling to back down, continuing to question instructions and demand clarification at every step. The result is a tense psychological standoff, with neither side prepared to yield, and every exchange adding another layer of pressure to an already fragile encounter.
Leave now.
And I will leave. You want me to leave this minute? I will leave this minute.
I would like you to leave this
Okay.
minute. I've enjoyed the conversation.
Okay.
Can you understand why it makes people like myself feel really uneasy having people taking photographs of their cars?
No, because I think it's paranoia.
We
I
deal
think.
with people who may not be as innocently minded as yourself,
Okay.
and may have a devious undertone in what they want to do if those images become publicly available.
I know.
Okay. I understand they can come to
Well,
car
give me
park
an
and see
example
them.
then. So let's say, for instance, I'll take a picture of this lady's car here who phoned you in and complained about me. Okay, so I've got a shot of her car now.
Okay.
And it goes online. Let's say I put it online tonight.
Yeah.
Then what happens?
And then somebody finds out where that car's registered to, or where it's been driving around. It can be put on there for various people we deal with, saying this is a police officer's vehicle now. I'm stating it's a police officer's vehicle, as you just said.
Okay.
It's then now knowledge it's a police officer's vehicle. That officer is now at risk of repercussions of people who may not be as innocently minded as yourself.
Right.
Do you understand where I'm coming from?
No. I'll tell you why. Because I could come down here and see that with my own eyes.
You could, yeah.
I could put anything online like that. You wouldn't have stopped me if I was just walking across here. If I was stood on the perimeter and I'm looking in, you wouldn't stop me. Okay, so that to my mind
I'd still
is
come and speak
nonsense.
with
The other point I want to make is this, is that I know police that actually have private registrations, and they have 999 as their registration. Right? Now, doesn't seem like they're too
I'm
terrified
going to agree
of
with
being...
you on that one. I don't understand why people have that.
Yeah.
It's a
Personally.
choice, isn't it? If people want to have a private plate with that on,
it
they're
is a
welcome to.
It
You
is
can
a
have your
choice.
football team,
But what it
anything
does
like that,
is,
yeah.
it kills that argument, doesn't it?
But I don't.
It's not for
That's the
everyone, is
point
it?
I'm
You-
making.
you-
Now, the other
I'm
point
telling
is...
you, I feel uncomfortable.
Okay.
I'm not speaking on
No.
behalf of everyone else in that building. So do you see where I'm coming from now? Yeah.
No.
Person
So-
to person, I feel uncomfortable.
So-
This isn't police officer talking. Person to person,
Yeah.
I feel uncomfortable.
Right,
At the fact
so-
that you may have taken a photograph of my vehicle.
Then we have a problem, because what you then do is you raise yourself. You put yourself on a pedestal and you say, we should be exempt. Now, what you shouldn't be doing is going to the photographer and saying, I don't like you doing that lawful activity. You should be lobbying your MP. And then he can draw up a paper, everybody can vote on it, and if they agree that photographers shouldn't photograph policemen's cars, police officers' cars, fine. But what you shouldn't be doing is trying to enforce law on your opinion. And that's what you're doing. You're saying, I'm uncomfortable, I'm concerned, as if
I'm uncomfortable.
your concern and your
also entitled
comfort
to tell you I'm
is
uncomfortable,
more
aren't I?
important than me. There's loads of
The
things
risk,
that go on
I'm going to be
that
honest
I don't
with
find
you, the
comfortable.
risk to me and my family, I would say, is higher than the risk of somebody finding out your registration plate because of the people that I deal with on a daily basis. Okay? I interrupt their criminal activities. I stop them from dealing drugs. I stop them from various other things that I don't want to talk about because they're horrible, horrible things. But you know the type of things we deal with predominantly. Yeah?
Let me come back at you that one then.
Go on then.
I'm at more risk of dying in your hands than you are in the hands of the public.
My hands.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so that's a stat if you want to look up. I am more likely to be killed by our police than I am by a terrorist.
Then I'd have to say, why do you walk into a police station car park if you're that afraid of police officers?
Because I didn't say I was afraid of them, but my rights are important. My rights are important. If we don't exercise them, we lose them.
Okay, I appreciate
So the fact that you know, a lot of the public have been killed by the police won't put me off coming here and exercising my rights.
Okay. You have to understand as well.
You keep saying that you have to understand. You need to term it differently, because it sounds really patronising. No, the difference is that when you say to somebody, obviously, or you say to somebody,
that's my turn of phrase and my use of words, isn't it?
You have to understand. Well, when you say you have to understand, it's as if there's a conclusion there already out there. You've managed to grasp it. I'm yet to catch on.
You're drawing an inference on my use of words now, aren't you?
But that's what it says. It says to me, you've got to understand. Well, no.
There who use the word literally, and it frustrates me because it's in completely wrong context.
Well, they should be sad.
We're all guilty of it. I'm obviously using the word obviously in the wrong context.
Obviously.
That's a habit
No. This is
a habit we pick up on, isn't it?
It is a police thing.
What I'm saying, it's not a police thing.
No, it is. I'm telling you, it is.
Okay, well, I started saying my previous job in retail, so I don't know where I got it from.
Well, if you go online and you look at any encounters with the police, you will have the first three sentences will be obviously will be in there. You got to understand and you got to appreciate.
Okay.
Now, when you put them together, you might think, well, it's just a turn of phrase, but it isn't. It's actually making the photographer into a supplicant. It's saying, I'm up here, I know shit, you don't know it, but you might grasp it if you hang on in there.
First thing I said to you was, I don't know. Please educate me. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's on your camera.
I'll have a look later.
You've got me saying that, yeah? Me saying
no,
it.
I'm just saying about that it's prevalent.
Educate me. Yeah.
It's prevalent with
I don't put myself
police.
above anyone. What I do put is my own uncomfortable. I feel uncomfortable, and I'm asking you.
Can I also tell you as well that if your registration, I mean, I can take your registration. If I wanted to know where one of you lived, just follow you home.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
People do
go.
that.
You know,
understand that as well, don't you?
Yeah, but that's nothing to do with photography.
No.
That's nothing to
by
do with the
putting
photographer.
those images and those things out there and making them more easily accessible.
All right. But talk me through the bit where some let's say there's some nasty guy out there, right? Bank robber. And he's watching whatever I've put online. And then he sees a car, or he searches for it because he's crazed and he's after a certain officer, and he thinks, I know what I'll do. I'll go through every video on Facebook, on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube, because there might just be a shot of a car on there with an officer maybe getting in it, and then I'm going to have him because I've got access to a bent copper that will look it up online, find out the address, because that's what can happen, and the police have been prosecuted for it.
Oh, I appreciate it.
And so on and so forth. Yeah. But I don't think that would happen. I honestly don't think that would happen. In fact, if you can give me an instance, where a photographer like myself has photographed a personal car, put it online, and then the police have been targeted because of that photograph.
It makes it more easily accessible, though.
Okay, I'm gathering that's a no. You can't give me an example.
I can't give you an example, no.
Okay.
There's many things I can't give you an example of. It doesn't mean it's not correct, though. Do you accept that you make that information more easily and readily accessible when you put photographs online stating these are
if I come out
police station car park?
Anybody does dash cam. You're going out here and a guy with a dash cam comes past, or the girl dash cam.
Do you accept that you make that information more easily accessible, though?
I accept that our rights. I accept that we should not exchange our liberty for security. That was what I would say.
Yeah.
And I think that was Lincoln who said that. People that are willing to exchange their liberty for security should have neither. And what you have to realise is that the Joe Public out there can go about their business. It doesn't necessarily endanger you, but if it does, then you need to change the law on it and not just come out here with any petty concerns and say, you shouldn't be doing this, I can't stop you, but you're making me uncomfortable and I'm concerned, and feck off type of thing, you know.
My right is to tell you I feel uncomfortable, though. You acknowge that, surely. But
Of course it is, yeah.
And your actions are making me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah,
you acknowledge.
But you're in working today.
I'm not being rude, I just need to speak to this person, bear with.
The encounter then moves into a critical phase where the disagreement becomes impossible to ignore. The officers make a stronger effort to establish control of the situation, while the auditor responds by focusing even more heavily on procedure, accountability, and the reasons behind every action being taken. What began as a tense exchange now feels like a direct clash between official authority and public scrutiny. As the discussion continues, the tone becomes noticeably more serious. Both sides are fully committed to defending their positions, and the conversation starts building toward a decisive moment rather than circling around the same points. The pressure steadily increases as the officers appear to rely more heavily on their authority, while the auditor continues demanding clear explanations and proper justification. By this stage, viewers are completely drawn into the confrontation because every response seems capable of changing the direction of the encounter. A more commanding presence then begins to shape the interaction, creating the impression that the situation has entered a more formal and consequential stage. The possibility of real enforcement no longer feels distant, and the atmosphere becomes increasingly charged. Soon, the verbal standoff reaches one of its most intense points, with neither side showing any willingness to retreat. Every statement carries greater significance, every challenge is met with resistance, and the sense of anticipation continues to grow. Yet despite the rising tension, the outcome remains uncertain. The confrontation is clearly approaching a defining moment, but the final resolution is still out of reach, leaving everyone waiting to see what happens next.
Okay, good to chat. Hope you've learned something.
I'll say I'm always open for discussion. You've got to, and I'm saying this, these are my words, not police words. You've got to appreciate how uncomfortable it makes people feel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your actions make people feel uncomfortable when you come to the police.
Well, you do some shit that make us feel bad as well, you know.
I don't, personally. I can't speak for every officer in the same way you can't speak for every photographer.
Okay.
You appreciate
well,
that?
yeah, but I was talking about the police, not just you.
Yeah, but you're talking about a small number.
You have been disciplined.
Well, I've been disciplined.
Yeah.
What, in police or in school or
In
ever?
police.
In police, no.
Have you ever been the subject of a misconduct hearing?
No.
Okay, good man. All right.
I don't know. All I ask before we go.
But he's pepper sprayed somebody. Have you tasered anybody?
I've never tased anyone because I use my mouth.
Okay, what, you bite them?
No, I talk people down. I'm talking, okay? I have pepper spray people though because some of the people we deal with, you've got to appreciate that as well. That's our way of getting the conversation across people. Yeah? Otherwise I could go to a whole lengthy explanation as to why, yeah?
Well, you could have done it. You could have done it today. This would all have been over in 10 seconds.
There's no need to. Yeah, we had a conversation. But before you go, can you understand my point of view where it makes me and other people feel uncomfortable when I car park and take photographs?
Yeah, but if it does, it's not a problem. It's not an insurmountable problem. I know that there's like fear therapy that you're offered by the police force if it's irrational, and I think it's irrational. I just think it's when I say it's irrational, I think that the probability, you tend to go on the possibility. If something's possible, it's, well, you know, this could happen, you know, like the incident in France where the officers got killed in the station. Well, you know, what you got to do is think, well, all right, that's happened. It's never happened before. It probably won't happen again, or if it does happen again, we can't really sort of safeguard against it massively, but we just got to carry on.
I wear a seatbelt every day in my car.
Yeah.
It's not probability.
Yeah.
It's possibility.
That's the law.
Yeah. Let's ignore the law, even when it's not the law. You know, my old job I had to drive across a car park, open one gate on one side, one gate on the other. It's private property, didn't have to wear my seatbelt. I still wore it because I feel safer wearing it. It's not probability, it's possibility.
It is, but how many people die, you know, like that in Britain every month? There's hundreds that die of it. But how many times has a photographer taken a picture of a car, gangsters got hold of the picture of a car, decided to do some research, gone round to the house? It doesn't happen. I don't think it's ever happened, and I don't think it does happen. I think it's just paranoia from the police.
We'll have to agree to disagree.
All right.
Yeah. Obviously, you don't deal. Luckily, don't deal with the type of people we deal with on a daily basis.
You don't know that?
Well, I hope you don't. I sincerely hope you don't, because if you do, it's a horrible situation for you. Yeah. Some people will do what they stab people, they burn people, they put them through chipping machines, wood chipping machines. They're horrible, horrible people.
Is that your colleagues?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. These are members of the public that we have the misfortune of dealing with.
Because you've got some bad colleagues as well, haven't you? I mean, there's been 3 cases.
None that I know.
3 cases in the last month, haven't you? You've had 4 people. You've obviously the footballer that was tasered for over 30 seconds, then booted in the head, he died. You've had the Wayne cousins that murdered that girl. And then you've had, like in Liverpool, I think 4 of them were jailed worthy, or 1 was suspended for beating some bloke up in his kitchen who wasn't off. So you know.
No one hates a bent copper more than a copper, I can assure you of that.
Yeah. Well, hopefully.
Because we're the ones who go out and get them.
Hopefully.
Ultimately, we're the ones who bring them to justice.
You ever arrested a bank copper?
No. I look forward
You
to
ever
it,
reported one?
I've never met one.
Okay.
If I did, You can bet your bottom dollar I'd have bought them.
You never met one? You think you never met one, or you mean you've just not been
I
aware?
think I've never met one.
Okay.
Okay. I'm not aware of one. Let's phrase it correctly then.
What about this guy? Is this guy all right, or?
As far as I'm aware,
Yeah,
he's never suggested to me otherwise. If he does, I'll be the first to report him there.
The final moments bring the encounter to its conclusion. The tension that has been steadily building throughout the interaction finally reaches its endpoint, bringing a sense of closure to the situation. Whether the outcome delivers resolution, relief, or leaves certain questions unanswered, viewers are left to decide for themselves what the encounter ultimately revealed. From the initial suspicion and growing scrutiny to the escalating disagreement and intense verbal standoff, every stage has contributed to a larger story about authority, accountability, and the importance of understanding the boundaries of public interactions. As the dust settles, the biggest question remains the same: who truly maintained control of the situation, and what can be learned from the way it unfolded? If you found this breakdown informative, make sure to like the video and share your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think the encounter was handled appropriately, or would you have approached it differently? Subscribe to the channel for more real-world police accountability videos, public rights encounters, and detailed analyses of interactions where authority and transparency are put to the test. And as always, stay informed, know your rights, and we'll see you in the next one.